Welcome to the Bring the Noise, Your Voice, Our Power podcast. I'm D. Rizzle, co-host on this segment here that we're doing, The Power of the Black Vote. Going to introduce our panel.
Maurice Wright.
Russ Neal.
And Ed Mack.
All right. Gentlemen, let's go ahead and dive right on in and talk about what we're here to discuss, the power of the black vote. You have some information you want to share with us, Brother Neal. Tell us what you got here.
Shout out to the brothers who back in February of this year did a special on the power of the black male vote. Sorry, I can't remember their names. And then since that, there's been a lot of discussion about the power of the black male vote, power of the black vote, period, and is it taken for granted by the Democratic Party? I don't know about you brothers, but I've been surprised the number of people I've talked to that are black that are supporting Trump. You know, it's one thing to be black and Republican. It's another thing to be black and supporting Trump. But that's the reality. And I think as we are less than, what,
80 days?
9?
Yeah, it's under 80 days. Yeah.
Out from this election, that it's important for us as black men to have conversations with our brothers about the importance of this vote. Let's face it, if the Democratic Party was meeting the black community's needs, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. So it's obvious that there's a disconnect. There's definitely responsibility that lays on behalf of the Democratic Party, but a lot of it lays on behalf of us as a black community.
Well, neither party is meeting any of the needs, so
True.
it doesn't matter.
True, but here's the thing. I like using this analogy because everybody can relate to it. Our vote is like walking up to a vending machine. And when you place that money in the vending machine, when you place your vote, you already know what's inside the vending machine because you can see it. You know it has what you want, and you take it. But with our vote, we walk up to the vending machine, not really sure what's in there, but we're going to put our money in that vending machine because it's a Democratic vending machine. And then after we put our money in, we walk away. We don't even reach to take anything. We don't even know what we want when we walk up to the machine. Every group, and when I say group, be it Asians, women, labor, the gay community, they have a list of asks, and albeit demands, and they expect them to be met. So they take their agenda to whoever the candidate is. What do you hear from us when a candidate comes? What's your agenda for the black community? It's not what's your agenda for the black community, it's this is our agenda. How are you going to help us move it forward? And I feel that's why we're in the position that we're in having this discussion, is that because a lot of folks from the black community are disenfranchised, frustrated. A lot of that is because we have not leveraged and used our political power in the right way. And so, we sit where we sit with brothers and sisters frustrated with the Democratic Party so much so that they're willing to cast their vote for someone like Trump.
Well, some people are just they want something different. They don't know what it is, but they want something different. And on top of that, some people, when they go to vote, they don't know any of the they don't know any of the people. They don't know a lot of the issues. And in some cases, I've even talked to people where they say, well, I see a familiar name. That's who I vote for. Mm-hmm. Or you go straight party ticket Democrat. So you're not using your vote the way it should be. I have told my kids, you want my vote, what can you do for me? And it should be seen that way. Now, everybody's different. You do it the way you do it. My thing is valuable. You want it? What am I getting out of it?
All right. I'm going to dive in just a taste because I'm curious as to what exactly we would want to see done. I'm all for making certain that we get something out of it, but I'm going to ask, what do we want and what do we demand? We're 75 days out, and we're talking about we want to see the Democrats do X amount of things. What are we looking for them to do? Where is that defined at?
Well, you know, I think the first thing to be able to answer that question, before we can ask them what they're going to do, we have to know collectively what we want done. You know, we have to, and then we have to understand this isn't a conversation that we have just before election time.
That's what I've been arguing about.
We should be having
That's
this conversation
exactly what I've been arguing about.
year round. I mean, look at what's happening in our community. You know, we should know what the priorities are and where we want resources distributed and how we want, you know, our community supported. So here's the thing where we are right now. We have to understand the agenda of the candidates. It's very clear that Trump's agenda isn't good for the black community. It's not good for America, period. And it's definitely not good for us. So we have to get people to understand that. And I mean, in our community, just like in this country, character used to mean something. Integrity used to mean something. If you have someone that has lied on every front,
Mm-hmm.
whose track record has shown, it's one thing to fail in business, but it's another thing when that is your business plan.
Your motto. Yeah.
To fail and rip people off. So we've got to get our people to understand, you know, the character differences between the two people.
Well, let's make sure we're fair. All politicians lie. Here's
not all.
Well, wait a minute. Wait. Think about this. You have to be all things to all people. That's impossible. So you're going to embellish. Let's not say lie, but let's say embellish.
Okay, let me just, if I can, point of privilege, since I
Okay.
served for 14 years,
All right.
All right.
didn't lie. That's the kind of thing that gets you.
I'm not. Okay.
Because
But-
when
but-
you use all, that's I know.
That's
I know-
collectively what-
Yeah,
Okay.
that
Right, let's-
all
okay.
it doesn't leave room for anybody not to fall in that net.
Let's say, okay, I will give you that. Let's say that all don't lie, but 98% do.
They're look.
That's strong. It sure ain't 50 though. It's more than 50.
Yeah. Here's what you got to do. Whenever someone wants to serve, if they've never been in office, look at what they've done outside of office. Look at how they've served the community outside of office. You know,
Let's jump into that though. I want to jump in that because I hear, and I'm pretty fired up today. I'm gonna just tell you, I hear stories. I got individuals. I'll use my daughter who's 25, and she's saying individuals are preparing to vote for Trump, and I don't care who you vote for. That's not my issue, but they're voting for Trump based on Trump giving out stimulus checks. He provided stimulus checks and money back. So we got to keep Trump in the office is their response.
well, let me share this. This is folks who
That's
are
just-
unfamiliar
That's
with.
instant gratification.
Well, but this is the other thing. Congress controls the budget.
We-
That's a
the,
legislative.
the four of us sitting here know that, but I'm saying
Well, and that's the challenge.
That's my
That goes
argument.
back to your point about people just voting straight ticket. They say, as a Democrat, okay, I'm going to vote.
Yep.
Not knowing,
yep.
you know, Akron's.
Ooh.
Well, I'm not going to get perfect. But let me put it like this. There's this thing called DINO, Democrats in names only.
Yeah.
Akron's last mayor was a Democrat in name only. He was a Republican. People know that you can't win in Akron as a Republican, so they switch over to Democrat. You know, and so people have to, again, what I'm saying is just see what people are doing. You know, actually see what kind of work they're doing. If you don't see them in your community, if you don't see them, and I don't mean showing up at a parade or showing up at your church.
Or every 4 years
Yeah,
for
every-
tax.
I'm talking about really doing work in your community. Then you got to question that. because elected officials, we have a representative form of government. They should represent your interests.
That's fair. That's fair. And and I agree. And as I always said, it's hard to debate. You're coming in 75, 175 days, whatever the case may be, before an election, talking about what are they doing for us, and we should demand this and we should demand that. That conversation should be had. 4 years is really a push, but people don't realize you still vote within that midterm for your for the House.
But how do you find out what someone else is doing? A private citizen. What do you? I mean, okay, he hasn't even began to run for office. So how do you see what he's doing, when he's doing? You know, now when he officially, that's one thing. But for you to, well, there's John over there. I mean, you know, how do you do this?
You're talking about a freshman politician, if you will. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Good question.
there's several ways. I mean, are they involved? Let's look at local politics. Are they involved in any grassroots organizations? Are they involved with a little league team? Are they involved with some form
Are
of
they only nonprofits?
ministry outreach?
Yeah.
You know,
Zach, what you
you know,
laughing at?
Do they sell cookies at the bake sale?
There you go.
So you're talking about all the wholesome stuff from Mayberry.
well, I mean, if they're engaged, you know, I mean, and especially now, people should know. But that goes back to the point you made. People don't know. They go off of sound bites. They go off of if it's got a Democratic card, and they vote. But what we've got to do, and I think that's why we're having this podcast, is we got to challenge folks to educate themselves.
I agree.
You know, and then we've got to do a better job of having some form of a collective voice. I mean,
How
man,
do you-
look at it. Biden knew the only way he got into office was through the vote of black women.
Mm-hmm.
To put a black woman on the ticket.
Yeah.
That's how he got the
How
black
do you
vote.
Yeah.
how do you get someone interested in something that they really don't have any interest in until maybe 2 months out?
Right.
We-
And that's a good point. The agenda should have been done not 4 years ago. Should have been done maybe, I'm 62. Should have been done maybe 100 years ago.
Oh, well,
Well, we have had
Over 100 years, we haven't had one agenda for black folks. And like you said earlier, you have the LGBTQ, the Asians, the Hispanics, the Mexicans. How do we still end up on the bottom?
what
See, I don't know if we're on the bottom. I don't know if I would say that.
tell me what you would say.
I would say, I guess I would say that.
Are we
Do we- do-
not far from the bottom? Are we not? What are
Now,
you saying?
When you say bottom, are you looking at
That's
collectively or individually? Because there's some good neighborhoods and bad neighborhoods in every race. So how are we defining at the bottom?
collective.
It's
For me,
got to
it's
be
collectively. For me, it's collective.
It's collective.
collectively.
It's collective.
Yeah.
So what are the components of that collectiveness? Economics, of course.
That's number one.
That okay. What else do we
That's
have?
number one.
Security,
Status.
safety and security of neighborhoods,
Okay.
quality of education within the school system.
I would think, talking about safe neighborhoods, just an environment where individuals there's a level of safety in there, and individuals can thrive, and it's a community versus just a place where you go lay your head at and you're feeling threatened, and safety and all those other issues come into play.
I mean, those are indicators that the financial institutions use.
That's
You
correct.
pay more car insurance if you're in a
Okay.
high crime area. You
That's
pay more
correct.
for home insurance if you're in a high crime area. You pay more for life insurance if you're in a high crime area. You know,
But who's committing the crimes?
well, I mean, it's no, if you live in a black community, most of the crimes are going to be committed by black folks. If you live in a white community, most of the crimes are going to be. So that's just. So since it's our community, that's a reflection of the lack of, I'm going to say, control that we have over the cultural value system. I mean, look, man, we're all pretty much around the same age. And we reminisce about the time when anybody in the neighborhood could chastise you.
That's exactly right.
There was a common cultural understanding about what happened when the streetlights came on. There was a common cultural understanding about when you walked past an elder's home, you lowered your voice. When you walked past a church, drove past a church, you
Turn
turned
your
down the
music down. That's-
we just understood, you know, we had a value system. That has all gone out the window.
So let me say this. There was a time, since we all around the same age, there's a time between 1965 to 1979. Black folks was kind of coming together a little bit. Right after Martin was killed, we was coming together a little bit. When 79 came and 80 is when they flooded the neighborhoods with crack cocaine.
That's fair.
We have not been the same since then. Not to mention all the 40-ounce joints and raggedy Chinese food places that they serve us slop in our own neighborhoods. We used to have our own businesses back then. We have none.
Well,
I'm trying to figure out how did we get there?
Well, for businesses, if there are businesses in our community that we don't want, you have to blame us. They're not going to stay there if we don't support them.
That's it.
Now, I'm down with you, and we have to understand. Like, everybody's up in arms about Project 2025. It's just a new name for a plan that's been around forever.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's talking about the right for a woman to choose, which a woman should have the right to choose. But in the black community, we're not talking about when they introduced abortion into the black community. You know who they introduced it, how they introduced it to the black community? Through the black church. Through the black church.
That's a good
The
point.
reason why
That's a good
everybody's
point.
up in arms now is because white women are using it as a form of abortion and their birth rate is down. You know, but the whole thing about abortion, just so I can make clear my position, is that a woman should have the right to choose. I'd like to even say a woman and a man. It's a woman's body, but it takes two to create the baby. But that being said, understand when abortion was introduced, it came through the black community. If you remember when they introduced this new form of birth control, remember the thing they put in your arm and then they
Yeah.
stopped pushing it? They introduced it in the black and Hispanic community. You know, and to your point about the flooding of crack cocaine, I'm going to find the YouTube, but under the Reagan administration, you hear, not McMahon, but they talked about how they would, they used the crack to fund Iran-Contra.
Oh, yeah.
That was Oliver
And-
North.
Yeah.
Oliver North.
Right.
But I don't know if Oliver North was the one with the crack. But they talked about the plan, how they
Oh,
brought
well.
it into the black community.
Snowfall is real.
They
Yeah,
allowed
yeah.
that to happen. So I mean, we can't be ignorant of this when we talk about how are we going to address the plan. Two things, and I'll stop. You said a plan in 1972 in Gary, Indiana. All the black organizations got together because that's when Shirley
Shirley Chisholm,
Chisholm
correct,
was running
ran for office. Yep.
Ran for office.
President, we should be
Yeah,
specific.
Yeah, ran for president. And they were coming together with an agenda then. I hate to say watch the movie, but watch the movie Shirley, you'll see where politics played out.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you win and you lose. Other times you lose, but you win. You've got to understand, sometimes you may not have the votes, but you got to make a statement,
That's right.
you know, to open up people's eyes. So that was one, and I'm going to tell you a recent one. Remember, for 10 years, Tavis Smiley and Tom Joyner were having that
They
State
had a
of Black
forum.
America.
Yeah, they had a forum.
Yeah, the
Yep.
Black Symposium.
You had all the black intelligentsia from all different segments coming together, wrote a couple books, and at year 9 or year 10, they said no matter who runs next time, this is our agenda. And we're going to hold them to the agenda
I
no matter who
remember
it is. And then our black messiah stepped on the scene.
You talking
And-
about Obama?
And we lost our mind. We didn't know how to hold, you cannot disagree with the strategy President Obama took because he couldn't come off as a black president. He's president for all of America. But he also was very careful to soft step, really talking about black issues.
Let me jump in on that. Let me jump on that part right there. Because I'm hearing, and I say I'm hearing, first thing is Kamala ain't going to do nothing for black folks. She's doing it for everyone. What has she done for me? What is she going to do for me? That's the conversation that's flooding the airwaves. Let's weigh in on that, fellas. You just mentioned, Brother Neil, about Obama being a president to everyone, if you will.
Yep.
Let's weigh in on that. Can he survive? And here's what you got to understand. If the country was running properly, Obama would have never seen an opportunity. There's no way they would have brought Obama in if we wouldn't have been dealing with 2000 to 2008 as it stood. Do you agree with that?
Agree? Well, the reason you can't fault what President Obama did. We were the ones who dropped the ball. Like I said, for 10 years, we were having this State of Black America. We had a plan. But when Obama ran, we forgot about
It was hands off.
And I'll tell you why it's so intimately I remember. Because when they had the State of Black America, they invited all the presidential candidates.
Mm-hmm.
I think only one showed up. You know who showed up? Hillary Clinton.
Clinton.
Hillary Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
President Obama said, well, he couldn't come because he was going to court the black vote in Texas. That didn't happen. Because you know where President Obama was?
Talk to me.
He was right here in Akron. Right here in Akron. Now, again, you can't fault his strategy, but, I mean, he knew, everybody knew how that was building up with to really have a community plan. After that, matter of fact, that was basically the death of the State of Black America. And we never, there hasn't
Never
been
recovered.
any,
Yeah.
hasn't been anything since as far as collectively bringing people together, to your point about having a community plan.
So, Mac, what's your thoughts on that? Let me get your take on this here.
Wow.
Let me say it like this. Coming through my eyes, Biden was made to step down because of his mental, right? His age, his mental.
Okay.
So you bring in a person like Trump that has 34 felonies, but really 35 because he was convicted of rape. How did you keep him on the ticket? So now, black folks again is stuck in between this wall and that wall. Now you got to remember, Kamala Harris, she came on the ticket under Biden. We all know why, right? To get the black votes.
Yeah,
To get the black votes.
Yeah.
And Biden also said that if you didn't vote for him, you wasn't black. I was lost with that statement. If you don't vote for me, you're not black.
Is that different from Trump saying he has felonies, so he's
Well,
acceptable to black men?
My point is,
Is that
if Biden was made to step down, Trump should have been made to step down. Trump should have never been on the ticket from the beginning. How did we Americans let that happen? Especially when this man started an insurrection at the Capitol, and you still on the ticket. How does that happen
Well,
when you have so many black people in politics? As far as, am I right? As far as your black, what is it? In Congress and the Senate.
National Black Congressional
Yeah.
Like, where is the black
Congressional
people?
Black Caucus.
Yeah, congressional.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Where is the black people at that point? That's representing us.
Okay.
They should have made a demand like, there's no way this man should have been on the ticket. We wouldn't be where we at today.
Well,
Having to choose from an idiot and then opposed to the
Well,
another.
let's be civil. Yeah,
Let's be civil.
let's be civil.
How-
Called him.
Well, how civil is it when you have an insurrection? Was
Yeah,
that civil?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying the same way he says this or that. Sometimes don't lower yourself to someone else.
Listen, I
Oh, yeah.
understand. If a black man has one felony, he can't even get a job. How do you have 34 felonies and run for president? That's the
Well-
part that baffles all of us.
Ask Bill Clinton.
So Shaq, you said let's be civil. Let's dive into that. Was there help me understand where you felt that wasn't a civil statement based on his beliefs?
The idiot portion of it.
I mean, we can define what an idiot is.
I just
I just looked it up. A person of low intelligence.
Right.
I don't.
well, he's not low intelligent.
But hold on.
I always
He's not low
Hold
intelligent.
on.
So-
Let's
so-
go to COVID. Let's go to COVID. Right. Let's go to
No,
COVID, and then I'm gonna shut up.
I'm not saying he hasn't made mistakes. I'm not saying-
Okay, hold on.
What I'm saying is
This is not a mistake when you tell somebody to drink Clorox.
that's true.
Okay,
And I'm not.
That's
I'm not
an idiot
disputing-
statement.
I'm not disputing.
all I'm saying.
I gotta stand.
I'm not disputing any of that. What I'm saying is just let's go high. I don't care what he says or does. Why would you lower yourself to that standard? That's all I'm saying.
I'm lost on that one. Me, I really am. I guess my response to that is, you just looked up idiot. It said low intelligence. So if you smart in business, but you low in interacting with
Just
the
have
community,
you have no social skills. That'll make you an idiot.
Well, Trump is. I always tell people this. I don't know which it is. Trump is either stupid but he's not dumb, or he's dumb but he's not stupid. But you can't call the man intelligent.
I didn't say he was intelligent. What I said was the portion is to say he was an idiot. I don't think.
Let me say this: the man, I'm gonna be real with y'all, is privileged.
oh, we know that. I don't even know what
I'll give you that all
That
day
ain't
long.
nothing to talk about.
Skin.
I give you that
When
all
you
day
have
long.
white skin, and your parents left you with millions of dollars, you built up Atlantic City by not paying the Mexicans for building your casinos
Mm-hmm.
and ripping other people off. I don't even want to talk about New York.
Central 5. I'll just say it.
Central Park fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say it. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
So right there, that's privilege. So he can do and say anything they want to do. That's what they do to
Well,
us.
can I say this though? At this point, man, it's not really about Trump.
It's not.
Because again, you ask, how can we? He is a reflection of all those people. He's empowering them to say through their vote what they won't say when they're standing next to you at work or living next to you in your neighborhood.
In the grocery store, giving you the finger when you're riding down the
Yeah.
street, whatever.
You know,
Or after you pass.
Yeah.
because again, I am just from the standpoint, forget party. How can you vote for someone that has no integrity, has no character, who's a liar?
Again,
Well, I mean-
how was he
He's-
added on the ticket?
he's-
That's the $1 million question.
Well,
Okay, so-
he swears up and down about the Christian thing. So that, and how he's going to eliminate abortion.
Can I say this? Anybody who is a Christian who supports, think that he's qualified to be the president of the United States based on his values, I need to know what church you're going to and what Bible you're reading.
Well,
I mean, you don't got
there-
everybody know the Ten Commandments, right?
Right.
What does it say? Thou shalt not lie.
Joe said you got mad at him. Joe said you ain't black. You don't want me to ain't black. I got mad at him.
so
Hey,
so there is no.
so that is
separation.
interesting.
So there is no separation of church and state. You're basically
No,
saying
no, no, no,
Joe
no.
said-
This isn't about church or state. Man, you go to any culture within the human race, everybody knows the thing about integrity when it comes to your word. Is it true or not? You don't have to be a Christian. You don't have to be a Muslim. You don't even have to
Yeah,
speak
they don't
the
even
same
come to play.
language.
You can be an atheist.
If you don't even have to speak the same language. If you
Why
are,
is it-
if you are, a
why is it they
deceiver-
always? Why is it they always want to know what religion you are, who you follow, blah blah blah? Why is that always so?
From whom? From whom, Shaq? From whom? Who wants to?
From the religious right.
There
Oh,
you go.
oh,
There's
I
your-
mean,
there's
that-
your- there's
The
your-
Heritage Foundation,
there's your
where he's
answer.
getting most of his money.
That-
They always say that. So answer. So is there a separation of church and
No,
state?
man, those people are smart enough to know that so many people are indoctrinated through religion. One, they may not even study for themselves. They just whatever
It's-
comes across that pulpit, that's what they're going
It's
to.
marketing. Just say what it is. It's
Yeah.
marketing. That's what it is.
Well-
Like, let's just say what it is.
That's
It's marketing.
You're 100%.
That's all it-
And also,
Come on. Why are we playing games with this?
Also, religion also is a separation of races.
Well,
100%.
Well, First Apostolic, or the First Congregational Church, and then Second Baptist, and so it's the most segregated hour is 12 noon on Sunday, like Malcolm X said. So yeah, I get it.
Okay.
Now, my question. Okay, let me ask you this: do you think this woman has a shot? Yes or no?
Oh yeah, most definitely,
Oh.
most definitely.
Okay, now, all right.
Well-
So you think she has a shot? How can she? That's wrong. That's wrong. How can he? I guess implode. I guess I'm trying to say that right. Can he, with the missteps that he's made, can he continue to where she wins, or do you think he can correct himself, or is it pretty much?
That's a good
You know,
question.
it's scary because I would think no other person, I think, can make and say the stuff that he does and still be considered a serious candidate for the president of the United States. People would ask him to remove. Here's my fear. This is what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that Vice President Harris will win the popular vote
And
like
lose
Hillary
election.
and lose the election because of the Electoral College.
Mr.
Now,
Russell and Mr. Sean, I got to clap for y'all because both y'all are on point. You're on point with that. Just think about what you just got finished saying. It's not the popular votes that get a
Electoral.
president in, it's the electoral votes.
Yep.
Those votes, tell me if I'm wrong, those votes come from the governors across the states.
Well, here's the thing. Now, when we talk about black folks, and we know that the Electoral
Secretary
College,
of State, actually.
that we know that the Electoral College suppresses the individual vote. It served its purpose to bring about equity between the smaller southern states, even though the way they did it was considering us three-fifths of a person. But I mean, they could have considered us as a person, let us vote, and it had some balance. But we know why they set up the Electoral College. But that day has come and gone. We now have the technology where, one person, one vote. Because look, here in Ohio, basically, they consider Ohio a red state. So in our vote for president, our vote is pretty much just cast out because we'll lose the majority vote in our state, and it's all our vote won't count towards the national count, in a sense, because it's an electoral
You'll
count.
be washed.
So, you know, as black folks, those are the kind of things that we should be able to organize around, and then find others who understand how, by doing away with the electoral college, it will empower their vote as well.
Hey, Murph, let me ask you this. Do you think that Trump can right the ship, or is he done?
No.
He's done?
Can't write this shit.
But here's the scary thing.
It really ain't no shit to write. The thing, you talking about Trump, you asked a question of why, how's he even on the ticket? Complexion saves. That's what it is. Complexion saves. It'll always be that way. It is what it is. Here's the issue. Here's the issue. Like everything else, don't nothing else matter until white men do it.
Mm.
And all that LGBTQ stuff, if it was just blacks, Hispanics dressing, they wouldn't give two, they would, oh, y'all go ahead.
All right.
They wouldn't give a damn. White men do it, it's an issue. Okay?
So they got the complexion for the protection and for the collection.
Let's say you can't hire your family and put them in government. You can't do that. It's in the Constitution, you can't do that.
Yeah.
This man has openly said, let's do away with portions of it, not the entire Constitution. And y'all screaming he down for the country. No, you scream, here's all this, MAGA originated at that correspondence dinner when Obama gave it to him. That correspondence dinner, that's what
I
MAGA
think-
originated. When he sat there, and all them people in there, all them people was laughing at him, and he had to sit there and take it. And when that started this whole thing about, now, I respect Trump. He said he was gonna blow up the whole situation, and he did it. I gotta respect him for that, because he did what he said he was gonna do. Now, I don't agree with a bunch of stuff that he get down with, but for somebody to say, I'm gonna take the entire political system of this country and blow it to shreds, and to do it, you gotta respect that.
That's a good point. And he
You
done that.
gotta respect that.
Yeah, but here's what we got to understand. He didn't do it by himself.
No,
So we've got to understand the history of this country.
Well,
It-
Russell, he said it. It's, no, we gotta be real with this, right? Who runs the nation? Caucasian men, white men. They run everything. Do our word really count? It does if we can come together.
Right.
But they never wanted us to come together. See, slavery was designed to keep us apart. When they killed Malcolm and Martin and put all the other black political leaders in jail or assassinated them, we haven't been the same since then. We have never, ever came back together again.
Well, if you look at the landscape, to be honest with you, there isn't one. Okay, that dude. He's the. I don't think I don't think we've had that guy since Fred Hampton.
Check it out. That's a good point. And we
just
thought
don't.
President Obama was that man.
Well, President Obama did what, he did a lot of things, but here's the thing, a lot of good things. But we're looking, this is what I've seen. We come and say, what you going to do? Others come and said, this is what you're going to do. Like you said, if you want my vote, this is what you're going to do. Listen to folks, even those who are supposed to be leaders, like pastors and whatnot in the black community. The question they ask is, what you going to do for the black community? When I use the analogy of the vending machine, and since now they can even talk to you, you don't go up and say, I'll put my money in, what you going to give me? You go saying, you want what you want out of that.
You got a selection. Yeah.
And that's what and if something else falls out of there that you didn't choose, you upset. You looking for somebody to come and, hey, open up that machine
Refund.
and give me what I wanted.
But see, back to it, there isn't anyone that you can look at and say, even some of the preachers,
Well,
some of the,
let me step on that.
who can you, oh, okay, yeah.
Let me step on
So-
that real fast.
You have to do your thing for yourself.
Do y'all understand gatekeepers?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Do y'all understand
Yeah.
boule?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, those are the ones that sit at the table with the white men, right? They keep the rest of us from talking to come together and come up with an agenda.
Well,
Now, tell me if I'm wrong. Ice Cube was trying to come up with an agenda 4 years ago. They shot him down. That's because we didn't come together collect. He was trying to come with an agenda.
That's not where he made his mistake.
No. Yeah.
Where he
let's-
made it,
yeah.
where he made his, to me, where he made his mistake is when he went and talked to Trump and people didn't like it. That's where the backlash came.
That's kind of what I remember. He was trying
Now-
to piece it together, and he had even Steve Harvey, but
Now,
they
I'm
didn't.
not-
Go
I'm
ahead,
not,
check.
I'm not saying that he was right or wrong, but I do feel in this instance, why not hear what the man has to say? Even if he's going to lie to you, at least you
At
gave
least-
him. I had an audience with you. I didn't
There you
have.
go.
You didn't give me an audience.
Now-
you know the other side.
Now,
so what
that's
am I
the problem.
supposed
That's
to
the
do?
problem that I have with Kamala Harris is
Kamala.
Harris. Kamala.
Yeah. There you go.
Harris.
Kamala.
I
like a
call
like a
Kamala
comma.
Don't say when you become vice president and a black reporter asks you, so what is your plans for the black community? Well, what do you mean? What is my plans? I'm here to help everybody.
Well,
That's not what we want to hear.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. Now I have to because you being a black woman or a black person in that type of profile, you're gonna get jammed up because if you say, "Well, I want to do this for this group of people," here come everybody else. See, I knew as soon as somebody got in there, boom. So you got to kind of combat that, trying to do everything for everyone.
Well, and see, this is where we have to understand how politics works. When the UAW, the reason why they got the podium, they know how to exercise their power. They have an agenda. This is what we want done. When the gay community comes up, they have an agenda. This is what they want to do. The
Well-
Asian, every community.
Well, wait, before you go any further. When you say they have an agenda, they also have a lot of money behind them.
True.
That's
True.
a
So-
lot of money behind us.
Yeah, we do. We just don't use it the right way. Yeah.
Not
Right.
collectively.
Yeah.
You admit, y'all brought up the fact you said we haven't had anyone since, they assassinated Malcolm and said, were we really even together then? Because had they not infiltrated us,
Right.
none of those things would have happened.
Most.
That's 100%.
The nation, cats talk about, the nation, and I'm like, let's look at, we can look at the nation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't been all the way, God bless it.
Right.
If it help you and your family, your cause,
Right.
I feel you. But ain't like it's been black. My issue is, and any individual of color gets, now what you gonna do for us?
Right.
We don't do that to them.
Right.
We don't do that to we don't do that to
Right.
to Caucasians. We didn't do that to. I'm sorry.
All right, we
You're
gonna-
right.
We got some good.
We didn't do that to Carter.
Right.
We didn't do that to Reagan. We didn't do that to none of that. They weren't coming in like, oh, what you doing for us? But let it be somebody with a little bit of color. Now they gotta right every wrong in the history of the world, and if they don't, they ain't nothing.
Right.
That's my
And
issue with us.
and on top of that,
Oh, yeah.
On top of that, the second you do something, here they come. I knew it.
I knew.
I knew it. So
Hey, can
you
I-
can't win for losing.
Can I use this analogy? How many of you go to the doctor and when the doctor says, "What's the matter?" you say, "I don't know." How you going to
Oh,
heal?
no, you gotta-
how,
you gotta-
how you going to heal me? How many
you
of you
gotta
go?
know.
How many of you go to the to auto mechanic and they say, "What's the matter?"
I don't
say,
know.
"I don't know." What you going to do to fix my car? You know,
Something.
How many of you go to the restaurant
Just
and they
give
say,
me one
"Can I
of
take your
everything."
order?" You
Yeah,
say,
just-
"I don't know what I want to eat."
just give me one of
How can they
everything.
serve? When you have someone in office that wants to serve your community, you have to know what you want so that you can tell them and then hold them accountable. But guess what? If they're really doing their job, then they can also hold you accountable. Because if you come to me as a doctor and you're expecting me to heal you, I say, well, sir, have you been eating properly? Have you been exercising? You come with your car and you expect me to keep it well maintained for you. I said, you're not changing the oil on time. This is a two-way street. The citizens have a responsibility, as does those who have been elected to represent them. But if they can't represent you properly, if you don't have an agenda, because guess what? No matter what level of government they're in, an agenda is being given to them by lobbyists, by the business community in that area, and by those who have their stuff together. They're saying, this is what we want to see get
That's a
done.
good point. Where is our lobbyist then?
Great point. Well, we can't, in terms of lobbyists, we can't even, come with we can't give nothing to give the lobbyists
Right.
for us. We
And,
struggle
and,
with.
and why is that?
We
Because-
struggle.
Oh, that's easy.
Here's my opinion. We struggle with accountability. As black people, especially black men, we struggle with personal accountability. I was in a conversation the other day, they was talking about, the government came in and take the black man out the home, and the black man took him out the home, and blah, blah. I'm like, I know many black men that can't nobody take out of their home.
That's right.
It's
That's
their
right.
home.
That's right.
Now, if you living with some girl that you done got pregnant, or she thinks you cute, and she get to flipping, yeah, they probably gonna be able to get you about it.
That's right.
So we struggle with personal accountability,
Right.
because we don't like looking in that mirror. We quick to, Coach, my college coach, God rest his soul, Coach Walker, he said, I want a room full of thumb pointers. I don't want no finger pointers in here. It's his fault. It's his fault. It's his, no. It's to start with me. You know what I'm saying? So until whenever that happens, I would pray that it happen before my days on this earth is gone. You know what I'm saying? It probably won't. But we're progressing slowly.
Well, here's the way it starts. We've got to have the conviction, like you said, to start with ourselves, and then those within our circle. And every time folks say, what they're doing to black folks and the black family, I said, has it ever been a time when the black family wasn't under attack?
Right.
I mean, we came right out of slavery and built community.
That's right.
And I tell you why we were able to do that. Because we still had our cultural DNA. A common culture is what allows a collective group of people to self-govern and work together. And it allows the individuals to hold themselves as well as others accountable.
Okay.
When that culture is dissolved, then subcultures rise. I mean, look, we've got a generation of young men who think it's normal to wear your belt, your pants down, not on your butt, below your butt.
That's been going on for 20 years.
But whose fault is that? That's ours.
Yeah.
That's our fault. That's our fault.
Do you
So-
know where that originated from?
Prison.
You
Right.
know,
but,
man.
But, okay, where
Again, ours.
does this,
Right.
where is the disconnect? How in the world
It's,
did it
it's,
get to this
it's
point?
finances. It's finances. When you pay a group of people like you paid every other race their reparations, you got to start there. You pay us our money, our land, and leave us alone, and let us do what we do. We spend more money than any other race on the planet
Per
on
capita.
dumb,
Per
on
capita.
dumb stuff.
Yeah, on. See, that's written. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know if that's on that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rod.
No. I'm just. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to say this point there. The whole reparations discussion is one that needs to be had, and we have to have understanding in proper context because it is due. The slave owners got reparations. The slaves did not.
Right.
So reparations is a discussion, but it's
Oh,
not.
definitely.
But it's not money. We lost.
It's
we-
also land, also, which
yeah,
is very
all
important.
those things are important, yeah. But man, when we had our cultural DNA and we understood the value of community and the village, you could think you're going to starve us and give us some pig guts, and we make it a delicacy. You could give us, we're supposed to get 40 acres and a mule and just send us out with nothing. And we build hospitals. We build communities that they were so in awe of and fearful of that they destroyed them.
Exactly.
So I say this, man, it's about not losing your cultural DNA. All of us saw Roots, right? And remember how Kunta would not, they beat him.
He would not
He would
say it.
hold on to his name. And then Philip told him, hey man, just, so he finally took the name Toby, but in his mind, he was still Kunta. And remember what he did when his child was born? He raised him to the sun because he still had his cultural DNA. He raised him to the stars and said, behold, the only thing greater than thyself. And as you went through the different series of Roots, generation after him did that until it got to the end. One of his offspring said, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I feel I need to do it. And he just raised the child up to the sky, but he didn't know what to say. That it's important, man, to not let the culture die. So with our children, is this your son?
That's my grandson.
That's your grandson? He should know your family's history, no matter how fragmented it is, so that, what's your last name, son? Co-
Coach.
Coach, okay. This is what my grandmother told my father, and she told it to us. She said, boy, when you go out this house, remember your last name. I don't care how everybody walking out is wilding out in the street, because your last name is Coach, and you understand that you're a young king, you don't act like everybody else. I don't care if everybody else is acting like a fool. You don't act like a fool because of your last name. And you know what your grandfather would do if he finds out that you acting. So, I mean, we got to have that kind of, but that goes back to when, I mean, like I said, we all reminisce about it, growing up in the neighborhood when anybody could discipline you. Why? Because they had this same cultural value system, and we knew that discipline was what? Out of love.
Oh yeah.
Don't nobody want to take them lashes though. Now you had to beat him to get the, the Toby. Before they even pull the whip out. Now they like, I'm Toby. Don't hit me. Don't hit me. You know what I'm saying? It's that in here. Now it's a bunch of goodness. It's a bunch of goodness in this world that my people got, and that's why they didn't even keep me even going, because I'm like, with the resiliency. They done took everything, they done did, and we still
running.
and we still thrive.
Still.
If we can simply get this over this hurdle, this mental block, that I can't be happy for you. I can't take a loss so that you better in the hopes that we get better later. I can't build up your house right here in this community because my house ain't right. I can't build up, matter of fact, I won't build up your house because my house ain't right. But not knowing, helping you get your house together, then we gonna help him get his house together, then we gonna help him get his house together and his house together, and now all of our house is tight.
Right.
But I can't take the loss. I got to get mine done first. That's our joint.
Can't get out your own way.
I got to get mine first. I can't let you get yours. And that's the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah,
of
we
years,
couldn't do it together.
You know what I'm saying? But we can.
Well, you know, what you're saying, like I use the term cultural value system. There's a holiday celebrated at the end of the year called Kwanzaa that has these 7 principles that the Swahili name is the Nguzo Saba, okay? And those 7 principles, one is unity, the second is self-determination, the one that you just spoke about, but Murph, is called collective work and responsibility.
Yeah.
Ujima.
34th day. Yeah.
But now, here's the thing. It's collective work, collective responsibility, and collective accountability. When we look through, ask a brother, who are you accountable to? If you're a part of an organization, who are you accountable to? You should be accountable to the community, but how can you be accountable to community if the community hasn't communicated its value system? I'll use this example and then I'll step back. You move into most of these new communities that are called gated communities. They don't assume just that because you can afford to pay the note to live there because the house is $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $800,000, that you're going to understand the standard. So they make you sign a housing agreement, understanding This is when you can put your trash out. This is the colors that are acceptable for your
Yep.
house. This is your
HOA.
car can only park here. You can't have a grill out on the front porch. You can't have your basketball hoop. They communicate that value system because they want to keep a certain culture in that community. Again, you used to not have to write it down because the community was strong enough to communicate that to anybody
That came in.
that came in.
It was understood.
Coming here.
It was
Yeah,
understood.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not like that now.
Right.
We're not like that now. I mean, so
It's unfortunate, man, but I think, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave this here. It's unfortunate, man, because there's so much greatness. You know what I'm saying? And especially for our young cats. You know, when I hear people talk about, especially with this voting thing. Oh, I don't like Kamala. Kamala, excuse me. I don't like Kamala. I don't, I just ain't gonna vote. Now my thing is this.
To vote for Trump.
Well, that's definitely a vote for it. You know what I'm saying? My thing is this here on the mere fact that on the mere fact
Oh, I want to hear this.
Oh,
let
we-
him
we-
finish.
give me
Yeah,
some-
let him
pass it
finish.
to you right
Yeah,
now.
we finna bring it on.
on the mere fact that individuals sacrifice for my ability, for my right to vote,
Right.
I'm going to vote.
right.
I'm going to vote, and I'm going to educate myself in the voting process. Because again, it ain't just the president. The
Oh,
president's the top ticket.
That's yes.
That's the
yes,
whole
Top
thing.
ticket.
Yes,
But
yes.
it's all them other things on there
Oh, yeah.
that kind of really dictate, would hit closer, would really touch closer to home. You
That's
know what I'm saying?
100.
Look at our Senate race right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We gotta. That's why everybody I come in contact with, are you registered to vote?
I saw that blast.
Let's
Yeah.
learn.
Yep.
Let's know something. When it come down, if y'all need a ride, hit me up. Let's
That's
go.
beautiful.
Let's go to the. We gonna go to the spot. We can have a party. We can, cause we down.
Yeah,
for
that's what
party.
that's
You know,
like.
we down for partying. We quick to drop. We quick to drop the signs and the cardboard with the Sharpies.
Right.
If something go down for that one day.
Right.
We quick for that one day. I need that one day to be voting. That voting day.
That's right.
Let's get the cars. Let's take over Copley Road. Let's drive down the street.
Right.
Let's drive down to the voting spot. Let's
Right.
do that.
Right.
If we gonna
To me,
take
it's the
over
liquor
something,
store. The
if we
liquor
gonna-
store.
Yeah, we gonna.
There you go.
No justice, no peace.
Yeah.
It's been a whole lot of peace, but not to be no justice. I'm tired of that one. I'm done with the no justice, no peace chance. I'm done with the chance. I'm
Right.
done with all the boom boom.
Right.
Let's do it about
That's-
something
That's so past
that matter. Let's do it about something that matter. That's my thing on this. And this vote gonna be crucial because if we don't get this vote right here, my dude here,
Yeah.
it's gonna be hectic for him.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna, he might, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna, it's
Yeah.
gonna be
Well,
hectic for him.
Trump already told you. Just vote this last
This
time.
last time, we
Right.
should-
We
don't
done-
have to worry about
we
it
done
no more.
fixed
go out the
it.
way. This
Right.
fool in advance.
Oh my goodness.
They trying to tailor make it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm dark. I'm big. I'm gonna be deep out in the field. So I already know. By the time I gotta get back from late lunch is over. You know what I'm saying? So they let them have it. They there with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Gentlemen, I love y'all. Y'all be good.
That's funny good stuff there. My man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. So yeah, that's Jack, real quick, I want you to answer. We joked around and said someone not voting is a vote for Trump. Weigh in on that. Let me hear that I caught you make a
Well,
statement on that.
I would just say, when I hear somebody say they don't want to vote, I have no problem with it, and I have no problem with it from this standpoint. If you got a person that you know ain't worth salt, and you vote or you don't vote, I'm saying this wrong. If you got a person that you know is corrupt, but yet you vote for him and you put him in, you cross the problem. You, the one who put him in there, you let him do what he wanted to do. For those who didn't vote, who had nothing to do with it, they should be getting off scot-free because I had nothing to do with it. I'm suffering from a mistake you made. So I think for those that don't vote, okay, no problem. But I would say, what's the alternative? Now, do you go into the booth, don't like either candidate, and hold your nose, or do you leave it alone? It depends on what you want to do. But I think a case can be made for not voting, especially when I know that this whoever is not good for the state or the city, but yet I'm still going to put him in office. Come on, now
Well-
that's my fault.
Well, let's look at this. And Brother Farron mentioned this. There's more than just the presidency.
I mean, that's for anybody. That's for
this
anybody.
This isn't going to happen. But imagine if everybody in Akron turned out to vote, because we've got the school board issue on there, and they vote whatever their stance is. And I hope people understand that the school system's got its challenges, but we got to pass this levy. But then we also got to, we can't just pass it without having our demands. Okay, we're passing this. This is what we want to see happen.
Okay.
Okay. But that being said, that public service announcement right there, we imagine if we all came out to vote, and we voted everything that was local, but everybody in the city of Akron left the president open. They're gonna see they're gonna say, wait, they had 100% voter turnout, and nobody voted for president, or only 30% voted for president, or because then you're voting. You see, they don't know if you're just apathetic or what if you don't show up and pull your ballot and vote. But there are times, man, when there's only been one person to vote for it, and I don't vote for him because I don't agree with them, or I don't know anything about them. We've never our paths have never crossed. I can't tell you what they've done for the community, so I don't vote for them, even though they're the only person on the ticket.
Wow. Yeah, that's making a statement though.
And
Yeah.
that's political analysts look at all those numbers. So what we have to let people know, this is an unusual election because of the extreme differences between the candidates. And then not just the candidates, the Heritage Foundation, Project 2025, that agenda is out there. It's not good for America, period. And it's definitely not good for black folks. So anybody that says that they're not going to vote, I would challenge them on that. Do you really understand what's at stake?
Right.
That's good stuff there.
Yeah, not bad.
That's good stuff. All right. Well, hey, I think it's been a very eventful conversation. I'm looking forward to making sure we do this. This is the first of a part of series here. We're going to come back and take a listen. We're going to have some information available and how to reach out to us. Any closing comments, gentlemen? Any closing comments, concerns until we get this next?
Well, this is what I would say. This is what we can do. Have this conversation starting with your family first. And then wherever your circles are. And don't take it for granted just because somebody looks like you or worships where you worship or is a part of your fraternity or your Masonic order or whatever organization you're a part of, drinks at the local pub that you drink at, that they're going to vote like you think they're going to vote. Have the conversation. I've been shocked at the number of people in my family and in other circles that are either saying, hey, they're frustrated, they're not going to vote, or some even saying they're going to vote for Trump. I'm like, man, do we have the same DNA? What is going on? But I'll tell you this, if you talk, I guarantee you'll find somebody in your circle. So now, when you hear this, don't say like you crazy, because I said in my head, I'm like, okay, what would make them feel this way? And if some of them are really into the church, it's the abortion issue. They're a one-issue voter, and they're frustrated with the Democratic Party. They're voting on that abortion issue.
That's interesting.
You know,
It is.
there's others who, they just feel the Democratic Party hasn't done anything, and they feel Trump is some of these younger folks feel Trump is gangster, and they can relate to that. I mean, there's all kind of reasons, but we got to have these conversations, earnest conversations. So the way we start to make a difference is getting our own house, our own network on the same page. And where we are may be different on something, just like we're having this conversation here, we got to come and reason with one another and understand, okay, we ain't voting Democrat, we ain't voting Republican. We're voting on what's in the best interest of our community, of our family. What's important to us in our community, and how do the agendas that we know about, Project 2025, the Republican platform, the Democratic platform, do they do anything to help us meet our agenda? And then last but not least, how can we work where we see that none of these are addressing our agenda? How can we work together collectively with others to make sure that our issues are on the table?
And I got one more last thing, and this might be a good topic later on down the road. Does boycotting help us as a collective?
That's a good question.
If done properly, yes, it does.
That's a good question.
If done properly, it most definitely does.
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think that could be implemented into this next potential piece that we're talking about. Shaq, what you got? You got something on closing?
No, man, it's a good conversation.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. Hey, so we're going to have this. It's going to be available on the site. We're going to get this out. Bring the noise, your voice, our power. And this is just the first in a series here of the power of the black vote. We got some good stuff
Black
coming.
male vote, especially.
And go from there. So in closing, we're going to go ahead and sign on off here, gentlemen. And look for this here coming at your way soon.